Welcome back. We are now going to work with the settings on our Aweber list that we just created. And so in order to do that, we're going to go to the List Options drop-down menu, and then we're going to click List Settings. And you'll recognize some of these settings from a previous tutorial. Now you'll notice here that we have the list name and then we have a unique list ID from Aweber. Now, anytime that we have to interact with an API or some kind of system that requires our Aweber information, we will use this Aweber unique ID. So one of the things you can do is you can actually put this in a place where you're going to remember it, or you can always come back to your Aweber list options in order to get this unique list ID. Now, the other thing you're going to notice is that all of your information, including your contact address, is going to be here in your list options. Now, the reason that that's important is because it is going to appear inside of all of your autoresponder emails. Let's take a look. So we are now inside of Gmail, and what you're going to notice is that at the bottom of this Aweber email, you'll see the unsubscribe link. You'll see the change subscriber options, but you'll also see an address. And this address is going to match the address that you have inside of your Aweber settings. So this is where that information is going to appear inside of every email that your client actually gets. You're going to notice that there is an area that says notifications. And this is a way for you to get a notification every time somebody is actually subscribed to this particular list. So if you want to write in a contact email address that will tell you you have a new lead, you can actually do that. So what we're going to do right now is we're going to go ahead and write in an email address so that we'll get notification every time someone signs up. Okay, so now we've added that notification here inside of Aweber. So let's see what that's actually going to look like when an email actually comes. To test this, we're actually going to go to the Add a Subscriber area, and we're going to actually put in an email that we are going to be able to see right away. And typically you can see emails right away inside of Gmail. This is actually a good way of being able to test something in your list. You typically want to subscribe to all of your lists so that you will be able to see what your client is actually getting. So we're going to write an email address in here so that we can tell what our clients are going to see. Okay, so now we have an email address in. We're going to click Add Subscriber. Now that subscriber has been added to our Aweber list, we can now go to our email address. Okay, so now we're going to confirm our subscription just as our client would. You'll see what the email is actually going to look like. And then we're going to click this link. Okay, our subscription has now been confirmed. We are now part of our Aweber list. So now let's check Aweber to make sure that we have a new subscriber. And we can do that by going to Manage Subscribers. And we now see that there is a subscriber in our Aweber system. So now what we can do is we can check our notifications to make sure that if there is a new subscriber to this list that we would have actually received a notification. And we can actually see that we have notification from Aweber. So all we need to do now is we need to check this email. And we'll notice now that we have a new email that was added to our list. Aweber also tells us the source. And this is how you can actually monitor your leads as they are actually coming in. Okay, so with that, thanks, and I will see you in another video. Welcome back. Now in this video, we're going to pick it up from the basic settings, and we're going to now go to this link that says Personalize Your List. Now you'll recognize the company branding that we did when we set up the list. You'll recognize the website URL. Now we didn't write an email signature in here. Now let's go ahead and write in an email signature as well as to upload an image into the logo area. So now that we have our branding in place, what we can now do is we can now start to customize our broadcast archive. We can do that by first connecting with Twitter. And what this button is going to do is it's going to allow us to connect to Twitter so that our Twitter followers will actually get a copy of our broadcast as we send it out. So all we have to do is click this Connect with Twitter button, and it will integrate with the Twitter account that we currently have open. Now, if you are already logged into Twitter, all you'll have to do is click this Authorize app. If you are not currently logged into Twitter, you will need to connect to your Twitter account in order to give access to Aweber so that it can connect with the app. So we are now going to go ahead and click this Authorize App button. And so now our Twitter account is now connected to our broadcast archive. We can do the same thing using Facebook. And you'll see a button here that will allow you to click and then connect to Facebook, where you'll have access to all of your pages to actually publish your emails to your Facebook account. So when you click this button, it will connect to Facebook. What you're going to notice is that you will have access to all of the pages where you are an admin. Now, this will only work if you are already logged in to Facebook. And obviously, if you're not logged into Facebook, when you click that connect button, you'll need to log in. Once Aweber connects to your Facebook account, it'll pull in all of the pages where you are an admin. If you will not be using your broadcast on those pages, you can actually go in and you can X them out. So in this case, that's what we're going to do. We're going to X out all but one page that we'll be using for our email broadcasts. But once you have that connection, you're going to want to make it your default Facebook post. So what will then happen is that you will have the opportunity inside of all of your broadcasts to post them automatically to this Facebook page. Now, there are a couple of other settings that we'll want to take a look at for our broadcast archive. Now, what we can do in our broadcast archive is we can actually include some place where someone can sign up, as well as our Twitter link. But before we do that, let's take a look where this link says preview your archive, and then we can get a better sense of what a broadcast archive actually is and how you can use it. And you'll see here that the email broadcast archive is a page that's hosted by Aweber that will have a number of your broadcast emails. And you will be able to determine which of your broadcast emails actually go into this broadcast archive, and you'll actually see that in a later video. But this broadcast archive will allow others who are not part of your email marketing list to read your content and then to be able to sign up for your email. They'll also be able to follow you on social media and to subscribe to you by RSS. Now, the last thing we're going to discuss in this video is your being able to have a look at what your unsubscribe page is going to look like. And this is what your clients will see when they decide to click the unsubscribe link in your email. You'll be able to see what it looks like based on your branding. So again, now you can see where your client will actually see your list name and your description. So keeping this in mind, you can write your description accordingly, knowing that someone will actually see it when they get ready to unsubscribe. Okay, so with that, thanks, and I will see you in another video. Welcome back. Now, in the list settings area, you'll notice that there is a section for global text snippets. And global text snippets are going to be pieces of code that you're going to be putting inside of your emails that you use on a regular basis. So, for example, let's say that there is a domain name that you use repeatedly throughout your writing of emails. Well, what you do is you write a snippet for it. And the way that you do that is you designate the snippet, and let's go ahead and write in one now. And so once you add in that snippet, all you need to do is you need to click the Add button. Now, this snippet will now be available to you inside of your emails so that you will be able to use it. Let's take a look. As we are drafting our email, we would come inside of our text area. We'd then go to the personalize area. And you do that by looking all the way to the right-hand side, and you'd click the drop-down arrow. You'd scroll down and you look for your snippet. and we'll see the snippet that we created. And then what will happen is when our email is actually sent, our domain name will appear there because we've actually placed the snippet code here inside of our email. What this does is it helps us to save time and effort and to focus on the message of our email. Okay, so with that, thanks, and I will see you in another video. Welcome back. In our list options and our list settings, you'll notice that there is one other section, and it's called the confirmation message section. And you'll recognize that we have already customized our confirmation message when we started putting together the actual list. But if you scroll down, there is actually more that we need to do. And you'll notice here that there is a section for confirmation message settings. Now, Aweber recommends that you use double opt-in because it is the best to make sure that you are going to be able to assure deliverability of your emails. Now, you could choose to turn off your double opt-in confirmation so that the client could actually sign up for your list without having to confirm. And all you need to do is to turn off. Aweber is going to give you a warning, and then you're going to click yes. You could easily toggle that back on by clicking the on button. Now, you can also turn on the confirmation message for the times when you actually import subscribers. And this is going to be the default setting when you get subscriber imports. You can turn that on, or you can toggle it back off. Now, when you go through the import process, Aweber will still give you the opportunity to send a confirmation message when you're going through. Now, there's one more item on this page, and you'll notice that there is the confirmation success page. Now, what some marketers will do is they will actually show their client when that confirmation email link is clicked, something that they would actually want them to see in order to make a purchase or make a decision. You can actually determine that by putting a URL in this space. Now, there is a default success page so that when your client actually confirms their acceptance of being on your list, they will be sent to a specific page. You can actually take a look at that page by clicking this link. Now, as you can see, all this page says is thank you for subscribing. So if you wanted to place a commercial message of some kind, or you wanted to make another sale, you can actually customize your thank you page. And you can do that here in this space. Now, one of the advantages of being able to host your own success page is to personalize the page. And what you would do is you would click this button, and then you get the JavaScript code that Aweber gives you in order to place on your page. Aweber will give you the code to place before your header tag, and that code would be here. You'd need to copy all of the code. And if you scroll down the page, Aweber will give you more code. And wherever you want to display the person's name, you would place this HTML code that you're looking at here. Wherever you'd want to place their email address or customize with it, you'd use this code. Now, again, you are going to have to know HTML coding in order to use these scripts. But if you know them, this is a great way of being able to personalize the actual thank you page. Okay, so with that, thanks, and I will see you in another video.